What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you. Now, guys, I want to take some time to talk about my thoughts on what's been going on with political pundit Candace Owens. Okay, now you guys might have heard Candace Owens has parted ways with the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire has parted ways with Candace Owens. I forget how that statement was read, but either way, Candace Owens is no longer associated with Ben Shapiro's media outlet, the Daily Wire. I'm not sure if this means she was fired or whether she quit. It seems like they were having a back and forth for a long time. I think her time had just about run out there anyway. But this has not stopped a lot of black people from celebrating what has happened to Candace Owens. Now, why would they celebrate this? Why would they be celebrating the downfall of a black woman? I thought the black community was supposed to love and respect and protect the black woman. I guess not. I guess that only goes one way. And we're going to talk about that in a minute because I feel like this has exposed a great hypocrisy in the black community. And you guys know I'm here to help you through that. But first, I want to address the insecurity of the black community first. In particular, the ones who are celebrating the perceived downfall of Candace Owens. Personally, I don't think this is her downfall. I think she's going to be just fine. I think she's going to be stronger for this. And I think she's a very dangerous voice at such a young age. I think she's something like 34 or 35 years old. But anyway, the insecurity of the black community is because of this, right? We have this thing in the black community called the NWC. Okay, what is the NWC, you might ask? This is something that is known as the nigger wake-up call, okay? The nigger wake-up call. All right, I'm going to talk about it, guys. Let's do it. Let's get into this because what it is the concept is that if you're black and you go out of the accepted way of thinking, right? Like there's supposed to be a code in the black community. I don't know what this code is, but everybody talks about stay on code, stay in between the lines. But what it really is, unfortunately, is that far too many black people define themselves up against white people. They wouldn't know who they are if it weren't for white people. So white people talk like this, so black people got to talk like this. But white people walk like this, so black people got to walk like this. You know what I mean? For a lot of people, unfortunately, being black simply means the opposite of white. So when you go too far out of what is accepted as black in the black community, then you are said to be out of line, you know? And sooner or later, you're going to get your NWC, your nigga wake-up call. And what that is usually if you are befriending white people, if you're politically associated with white people or white concepts or white talking points, let's say conservative talking points, then usually you're going to get an abrupt reminder that you're black, as if you never see a mirror in your house and somehow you close your eyes and you picture yourself as white. All of a sudden you are reminded, no, Negro, you are black. And usually that comes in the form of some type of disrespect, or in Candace Owens' case, you get fired and publicly shamed. So a lot of black people, they cheer this because they're like, there it is. You know, a lot of people put this on, let's say Eric July, for example, what he's doing. I don't want to go there, but it usually, unfortunately, I say that to say this, the NWC or nigga wake up call usually gets put onto people who are actually fucking trying to do something. Ambitious people, you know, people who take chances, people who are actually trying to accomplish something. Unfortunately, when they fail, there's a whole group of so-called your people who are waiting to cheer. I knew it. I knew you shouldn't have been doing that. I bet you found out now. You should have never been doing that. You should have stayed up in the ghetto. You should have stayed in the hood. You should have stayed on the block. That's your nigga wake up call. Ha ha ha. So they feel a lot better about the fact that they're not doing shit. And I think that's the most pathetic part of it all, because we only ascribe the so-called nigga wake up call to people who are trying to accomplish something. You know what I'm saying? So that's the crazy thing about it. They're more than happy to kick Candace Owens, a black woman. They're more than happy to kick her when they think she's down because she dared to be in so-called white spaces, which is ridiculous. Because if you believe that you have inherited the earth, then all of it should be your space. When it comes to the way you think, you should be able to think all around and outside the box. What happens to a community that does not welcome the free thinking of individuals. That community is weak, and so maybe that's the reason why we find ourselves in the position that we find ourselves in now. So you got a bunch of people talking about Candace Owens. She deserved what she got. She can never come back to the black community because now they see that Candace Owens has been seen on The Breakfast Club. She's been seen on Joe Budden's. And of course, there's a lot of black people who don't like that, to the point where they're actually speaking out against Joe Budden's. They're questioning his platform and his voice and his validity and credibility. They're questioning The Breakfast Club. Anybody who will actually have this woman on who's black is going to lose their invitation to the cookout. And once again, that is a symbol of great, great insecurity, because we feel like we're supposed to be in the ghetto. We're supposed to be boxed off. And there's places where we can't go and things that we can't say because that's white. You can't say that. That's what white people say, right? So they write people off based upon that, right? But there's also a great hypocrisy in that as well, because in order to receive the nigga wake up call, usually it means that you put yourself in a position where white people can use you to further their talking points and their narrative. And the assumption is, or the belief is that once you're of no longer use to them, then now you get brutally discarded, and disgraced. All right. So that's what they say. You had it coming because you allowed those white people to use you. You was cooning for them. You was a token for them. You know what I mean? So they give you that disrespect. But the funny thing is, right, here's where the hypocrisy comes in. Because in order for us to say that Candace Owens or me or anybody else is no longer welcome in the black community. I remember Kevin Samuels, may he rest in peace. He got that work too. Once he died, a lot of people danced on his grave because he said things. He dared to say some things that people didn't like. So even though he's a black man, we're going to cheer for his demise. We're going to cheer for his failure, But the funny thing about that is it betrays the very same thing about these black people. We only have use for each other as long as we're furthering our narrative, which is usually a narrative of victimhood. We believe that white supremacy is keeping us down. Anybody who says they don't believe in white supremacy, anybody who says that you can rise above and you can take personal responsibility for your life, they have no use for that. And that's funny because that's what you need to succeed. So you get this idea that the black community is getting this great big psyop run on us, right? Where we actually uplift those of us who were counterproductive and we ostracize and we condemn those people who are trying to get us to actually come out of this self-defeating mind state that we're in. So if you actually listen to what Candace Owens is saying, if you actually listen to what Kevin Samuels was saying, right? Actually listen to it, you might find some respect in these people who are educated, who seem to actually have good intentions, whether you agree with them or not. That's irrelevant, all right? But the mere fact that you should have a black woman who we're supposed to protect and respect, who is saying these things, the mere fact that you would have that and you would want to see her fall just proves, if I were a black woman, for black women out there, take heed. I don't see anybody talking about, or to this degree, talking about, let's say Sexy Red, talking about Glorilla, talking about this new crop of female hip hop artists that are nothing more than a cut above strippers, who are being thrown onto our daughters. All of these problematic images that are being put onto our daughters. Nobody has that heat for that to this degree. But Candace Owens, what was her mortal sin? Her mortal sin was talking about things like self-accountability, questioning both sides of the aisle, whether you're Democrat or Republican, just having more family values, no, can't have that, right? We're going to condemn her for that. And of course she's married to a white man, right? So people act like that's something that's problematic. That's what I see on X and on Twitter. A lot of black men of all people, like cussing this black woman out. Oh, she's married to that white man. I guess she got her NWC. She got a nigga wake up call now. I don't know. How come people don't talk about Serena Williams this way? She's still embraced by the community. She's married to a white man. Why don't people talk about Eve, the rapper, the pit bull in a skirt? She's married to a white man. Halle Berry was married to a white man. Lupita Nyong'o is dating a white man who was married to a black woman, but threw her over for Lupita Nyong'o. I guess he got a newer model. You know, that dude from Dawson's Creek, Joshua Jackson, whatever his name is. So we still embrace those people. So it can't be a matter of interracial dating, because a lot of times that's celebrated, especially with black women. With black men, not so much. Paging Dr. Umar. All right, but with black women, yeah, that's kind of celebrated. But so it can't be that. So what it is simply you don't like the way she thinks. A thinking black woman, we don't like. A twerking black woman, yeah, that's okay with us. You know what I mean? A fighting black woman, we can excuse her for that. You know, I see videos of black women going crazy at the Waffle House. Black women, you know, fighting, throwing people around, hitting people. We got a million excuses for that. We celebrate shit like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, you gotta back your sister. You gotta support your sister. But if she thinks the wrong way, fuck that bitch. She's not invited to the cookout anymore. What? Like I said, you start to get the idea that somebody has gotten into the mind of the people and like severely fucked it up. Like our values are all messed up. Our priorities are all messed up, you know? So you get this nigga wake up call, right? And let me just put it this way, right? In order to have a wake up call, right? They say, do you need a wake up call when you're asleep? All right. So what else do you do when you're sleeping? You dream. Right? So it reminds me, Martin Luther King is known for a dream, right? He was dreaming. I guess using your logic, you would say that Martin Luther King got his nigga wake up call, right? When he got shot, when he got assassinated. Malcolm X, he got expelled from the Nation of Islam in the same way that we think that Candace Owens got expelled from the Daily Wire. Malcolm X, you would say he got his nigga wake up call, right? So it's funny how that works. The only people who get nigga wake-up calls are the ones who are actually doing shit. The ones who are actually taking chances. And it's shameful that for those of us who take chances, for those of us who are doing it our way, we have so many behind the scenes who are just waiting, wishing, hoping for us to fail. You know, holding their breath, waiting for your downfall. And then when you fall, they cheer for it and they mock you for it because you were seen with some white people. Never mind the fact that if you're going to make any moves in this world at all, there comes a time when you're going to have to do business, to compromise, to mingle with other people. Contrary to popular belief, there's no such thing as a safe space. We heard that woman talking about that who's making the Black Panther game. I only hire black people because we need a safe space. No, you need a ghetto is what you need. You need a plantation is what you're talking about, basically. There's no safe space. You can only get so far before you have to start working with other people. All right, that's the way it works. But it makes people feel so much better about themselves and what they're not doing, what they're too chicken shit to do, what they're too lazy to do when they see people who are actually doing something. When they fail, it makes them feel validated for the fact that they didn't even try. You know, and that's what's going on here. And so you have Candace Owens, and you got to look, man. You got to look at what's going on with her. Look at who's been targeting her. All right. Look at who's going against her and understand whose puppets you are when you go against her. Also, as black people, look at who it is who's controlling the media that's trying to slander her. You don't need me to spell this out. Look at who it is who's trying to demonize her. And look at what she's saying. She's talking about we need better values in the black community. We need more awareness in the black community. We need more, we need better images, you know, for our children. She's married, right? She's got 3 children. I don't care. Once again, it doesn't matter who she's married to. She's got 3 kids. She's a wife. She's a mother, you know, but for some reason, she deserves our vitriol. She deserves our scorn. She deserves our rejection. But then we take up the cause of criminals. You know, nobody should be killed by the cops. But why do we practically nominate victims of police brutality, regardless of their criminal record, regardless of what they were doing? We practically nominate them for sainthood. They can do no wrong. We make murals to them. That's the reason why I said in other videos, the only good black men to the black community are dead ones, because it doesn't matter what we stood for. It doesn't matter what we say. Once we're dead, we can be redefined. You know, so that the same goes for someone like a Candace Owens. They don't like what she's saying. They don't like what she stands for because she's alive to say it. But let her get pulled over by a cop, get shot by a cop, get killed by a cop. All of a sudden now it's say her name. So backwards we are, guys. So backwards. I just wanted to speak on this because I saw this all week online. You know, she's been trending all week. And I see all of these black men and black women. And thank God there's a lot of us who are actually starting to see through this and starting to understand. Maybe you should listen a little bit closer to what she's saying before you get so hyper to take offense to it. Marinate in it. Give it a minute. Think about it before you just automatically, well, she said this. Well, she said that. Well, you must not know that she said that. Dude, bro, think about it for a while before you condemn somebody. I thought we were supposed to love each other. I thought we were supposed to respect each other, even in our differences. But we can't do that, can we? All right, guys. I just wanted to say that. And I want to leave you with this. This so-called nigga wake-up call. People are dancing in the streets because she got this nigga wake-up call. But you know what? This isn't her first nigga wake-up call. Most black people, most ambitious black people, most productive black people, most loving black people get their nigga wake-up call from niggers first. Think about that, guys. You can like, you can share, you can subscribe. Thank you for your support. Those of you who do support, thank you for hitting that super thanks. There is a Cash App in the pinned comment below. You like what I'm talking about, go on and hit that. I do appreciate you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.